on an all-new Dr. Phil.
Why does your child not want to go with you?
She coaches him.
You're a damn liar!
Where did Daddy give you a boo-boo?
She says Daddy gave me a boo-boo on my back.
No, he doesn't. You're the one that says on your back. You said he takes my son to a motel where they make child pornography.
And he was taking him to the hotel.
Lie after lie after lie after lie. I want a restraining order on you.
Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
I'll try to be an emotional compass and point you in the right direction.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you. I can tell you straight up, the details of today's show are going to have you scratching your head, wondering who, if anyone, is telling the truth. Now, my guest, Angela, has a 2-year-old son with her ex-boyfriend, Getty, who she calls an unfit father. She wants his parental rights revoked. Now, according to Angela, Getty is a convicted felon with ties to a child porn scandal involving the FBI. Not only that, Angela adamantly claims Getty has physically abused and sexually molested their son. Now, I take this seriously. There are accusations flying both ways. We're going to get to the bottom of this. Some things are going to change. This child is not going to remain in this toxic environment. Now, this mom claims she will do everything in her power to protect her sweet little boy from his pedophile father. Take a look.
I'm very scared of my son's father, Getty. I don't know what he's capable of. Getty is a master manipulator. Getty's evil. He's a narcissist. He's a child abuser. In my eyes, he's a monster. He's hit me once in my face, and he's nearly killed me twice within the same week whilst I was pregnant with our son. Getty is a convicted felon. He's had multiple charges over the years of drugs, battery, vandalism, shoplifting. I mean, the list goes on. I believe Getty is abusing and molesting our son. When my son comes home from his father's house for the overnight visits, he's covered in bruises. And he says, my daddy gave me a boo-boo on my back and it hurts, Mommy. I looked at his back and I did a videotape with my son.
Where did Daddy give you a boo-boo?
It looked as if he had a handprint on his back, and the lower part of his back was blue. He had 2 giant pink marks in the center of his lower back, which are the marks from Getty's rings. I kept our son away from his father for over 2.5 months after the physical abuse, and that's when our son started showing more of the signs of touching himself in an inappropriate manner. And when I asked him, who touches you like that, he says, my daddy. He showed me a sexual gesture that made me want to puke. Getty's got everybody fooled, and he's getting away with this. I want to keep our son away from this monster.
Okay, so he has everybody fooled, but he doesn't have you fooled.
No, not at all.
Your son has told you his father is abusing him, and now that he's sexually molesting him. How did he explain that to you? What did he say to you?
And he was touching himself in an inappropriate manner that I've never seen my son do before. And I just dropped to my knees and started crying. And I said, baby, who touches you like that? And he said, put his hands up like this, and his demeanor changed. He says, my daddy. I took a deep breath and I said, can you tell me how Daddy touches you? And he went like this. And at that point, I knew what was going on. I knew in my heart of hearts, it was like, oh. And I wish he would say it was somebody else. I wish it wasn't happening, but I wish he would say it was anybody but his dad, because that's his father. You would trust him with his child.
It was June of 15 that you say that you believe that he was molesting your son.
Yes.
But you continued to allow him to visit his father. And you didn't withhold him from his father until August.
Correct.
So tell me why you allowed him to continue visitation with his father. If you had a good faith belief that his father was sexually molesting him, why did you go 60 days of continuing visitation before you withheld him from his father?
The Department of Children and Families in Florida told me I didn't have enough evidence, and they had nothing to go on.
Well, you didn't have any more evidence in August when you withheld him for 2.5 months.
When I started seeing more behavior when he came home in August covered in bruises on his back, that's when I put everything together and I said, this has got to stop.
Well, Getty is here today with a briefcase full of documents he says prove that Angela is nothing more than a vindictive, jilted ex-lover who's obsessed with him and hell-bent on using their innocent son to make his life a living hell. Take a look.
All of Angela's accusations of abuse are total lies. I've never molested or physically abused my son. I believe Angela is completely still in love with me. That's the only way to explain her obsessive behavior. Angela's called the police on me about 40 times with false accusations. The police have been called to her house well over 214 times within a 5-year time span. I'm fed up with the accusations, the stalking, the harassing. The moment that anything doesn't go her way, she flips her script and then everything changes. She just turns into this devious person that's out for blood. Some of the scenarios that she comes up with are stuff right out of like a movie. They're so far-fetched, nothing is even close to being accurate, and I have the paperwork to prove it. Angela takes our parenting plan like a total joke. She recently kept my son away from me for over 2.5 months. Angela accused me of abusing my son. The day she got served with contempt papers is the day that she pressed charges on me for abusing my child. Using my son as a pawn, making him act like he hates me is ridiculous. Every time I go to pick up my son, I have a police escort for a witness. Angela plays up our son crying every single pickup and throws on this big theatrical performance. And as soon as he gets in the car with me, he stops crying.
Yeah, we're gonna have so much fun. Gang five.
I'm a great father. I'm probably one of the best fathers that I know. Angela should be grateful that I'm a great dad. I love my son. I will never hurt him.
Okay, Getty, I'm glad you're here because she has straight up accused you of some very egregious things. She has said that she has good faith belief, evidence, and reports from your son that you are physically abusing him and that you are sexually molesting him. Are you doing either or both of those things?
In no way have I ever done anything to hurt my son in any way, ever. I've never touched him inappropriately. She knows this. She's just doing this just because this is the last thing that she can do. She's already accused me of every single thing else, and this is the only thing she has left.
What do you say about that?
I'm not sure why he would think that I would be trying to get back at him or why I'd be in love with him if I'm accusing him of such a heinous crime.
You've threatened to ruin me countless times in every way, shape, and form. You've told me that if I sign my rights over, this will all go away.
That's when you were stealing motorcycles.
That's when I was stealing
And selling
motorcycles,
drugs.
Angela. Seriously?
Yes.
Let me stop you. I mean, you're a criminal. You have a criminal past, correct?
I have a past, exactly what it is, a past.
You've been convicted of crimes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and as you say, that is in the past. The most recent of those is several years ago, and most of them are over 10 years ago.
I mean, I accept responsibility for my actions, and I've paid my dues for every one of those events.
Yeah, and
not all of those was I convicted of by close to any of all
right.
of those.
Well,
was charged.
but you don't deny that you had a
shaky past. Yes, I do.
I want to tell both of you here, if you're making this stuff up as a vendetta, you don't want to do that.
I'm not.
And if you're being inappropriate with this child, you're looking at your worst nightmare, because there is no level I won't go to stop that from happening. You need to understand that. And I know how this system works. And if you're being inappropriate with that child, that's going to stop. So We just need to understand what's going on here. Angela accuses her ex, Getty, of not only physically abusing their 2-year-old son, but molesting him and taking him to a hotel that was linked to child pornography. But is any of this true? I intend to find out. We'll be right back.
Getty worked at a hotel called the Desert Inn in Daytona Beach that was busted for child pornography and child abuse. He worked there for 8 years. He's seen everything go on from A to Z in that hotel.
And later, you had a video of your son demonstrating how he was being touched.
Yes, I did.
Where is the video?
The police department have it.
Well, where's your copy of it?
It's child pornography. I can't have it, weirdo.
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil. A son with multiple personalities.
We've dealt with 14.
He turns into Felix the cat.
I love to play peekaboo.
Adam is the scary one.
Something takes over and I flip out.
Her family disagrees.
I think Dylan is faking it.
There's no way this is fake.
I've never seen it.
Oh, you don't live with us. I just need one person to believe in me.
All new Dr. Phil. That's tomorrow.
Desert Inn is a hotel in Daytona Beach, which was busted for child pornography and sexual acts. Getty was the head maintenance man at that hotel. Getty was groomed by Dennis Devlin. He testified on this man's behalf. This man went from 45 years in prison to 15 years in prison. Now, these are the type of people that are around my child.
Angela says that FBI raid is exactly why she is terrified to leave her young son with Getty, who used to work at the Desert Inn. Getty says there's absolutely no truth to her abuse allegations, and Angela is making it all up to gain full custody of their child.
Getty knows the only way he could hurt me is to hurt our son. Getty is abusing and molesting our son. When my son comes home from his father's house for the overnight visits, he's covered in bruises. I immediately made a video of our son.
Where did Daddy give you a boo-boo?
Right there.
Where?
Right there.
On your back?
Yeah.
Angela is coaching my son to say bad things about me and putting a negative image of me inside of his head.
I'm not coaching our son. One time, my son was touching himself in a very inappropriate way that children wouldn't know how to do unless they were shown how to do or it was done to them. I said, baby, who touches you like that? This is my daddy.
I think that that's complete. I don't think that that ever happened. I think that that's all just a figment of her imagination.
I know there's sexual abuse that goes on. My son kisses my nieces with his tongue. I've confronted Getty. I said, you're a pedophile. I know what you did to our little boy. You are sick. His response was cold and calculated. No one will ever believe you. You have no proof.
Angela has repeatedly said that if I sign over my rights, that this will all go away. She's lying just to try to get to me. These allegations are beyond crossing the line.
I wrote down a quote here. Getty took my son to the hotel.
Yes.
Your son was born on what day?
May 1st, 2013.
And that hotel closed in July of 11.
Just another lie. It was closed.
But
Now,
this
wait
these
a
are
minute.
things that you're
The hotel
telling me.
closed 2 years
Oh, you caught another lie.
before
It was-
the hotel closed 2 years before your son was born. And everybody involved is already gone to trial, sentenced, and in prison before your son is even born.
These are the things that he would tell me.
Not what he told you, what you
Right,
told
I
me.
did tell you that. I did.
That's just another one
They
of the
could still
millions
go
of
to the
facts I
pool.
have
If you were
in
to
here.
walk up the back of the hotel, you could still go in.
So you're telling me Getty was telling you, I'm going to take our son to a child pornography hotel.
A closed hotel.
And
let
you
me
said,
have him.
okay, have a good time.
No, he would say he's taking him to the hotel and they're going to go swimming.
That's not what you told me. You didn't say he's taking him to a pool where 2 years ago they used to make child pornography. You said he's taking him to the hotel where they do child pornography.
Correct. And he was taking him to the hotel, but there's the pool there.
Are you trying to tell me that you did not intentionally make a material misrepresentation to me and my staff by telling us the father of this child was taking your son to a child pornography hotel?
No, I did not make that up.
Do you think that it was a material exclusion to not say, and oh, by the way, that's what they used to do there. They don't do that anymore because it's shut down and everybody's in jail.
Right. I should have said that, but I didn't. I knew it was closed down, but you were still in contact with, I can't say her name.
Had nothing to do with the investigation.
It does. It's a big factor because when our little boy says that she touches his butt and that she's bad.
Our son can barely.
Okay, wait.
Don't discredit him.
No, wait a minute. You're now saying that someone else is molesting your son. Because you said earlier, and we've asked you clearly who you believed was molesting your son,
sexually
and
abusing.
You said it was him.
My son has said his father touches him, and also told me a lady.
Well, this is the first you've ever said about that.
I've told the producers about this. I let them know about her.
Okay. So now it's him and another woman.
Yes.
They're both doing this.
I don't know if they're both doing this. This is what my son has told me.
Then tell me how that conversation went.
He says, touch my butt, Mommy. And I said, baby, who touches your butt? And he says, his demeanor changed. He says, my daddy. And I said, who else touches you? Does anybody else touch you? And at that point, I didn't want to push the envelope. I let him go to sleep. I didn't want to bother him anymore because it's hard to go through with him. He's too young to keep asking him questions.
Did you mention this person in a police report?
Yes, I did.
And was that investigated?
It's still an open investigation right now.
You're so far-fetched with this, man.
That's your opinion.
You're not going to stop at anything. You know,
I have to do what makes our son safe, and you are very dangerous with him.
And later, did you say that you wish you had aborted this baby?
I did.
You would take away our child? Do you hear all that
if I knew I was having a baby with a monster like you, you're damn right I'd take it back over and over again.
So let's take a look at a police report concerning the child abuse that was filed on November 7th of 2015. There was a well-being check. Dispatch received a call from Angela asking for a well-being check to be conducted on her 2-year-old son who is staying with his father, Getty. Angela advised to dispatch that she suspects sexually abusing, but did not provide any other details as to why she suspects this. There are no signs of any trauma to his body. There is no evidence that the son is being or ever has been abused.
Ever.
So you asked for the well-being check. Dispatch sent people out. There was the investigation done, and they found no signs of anything at the time, and no signs that would indicate any history.
No signs
of that taking place.
He was, I guess, not friends. I can't say friends, but he's known the officer that went out there for a very long time. DCF, I guess, come out to Getty's home that Sunday. Supposedly checked. They said everything was fine, too. But when I picked our son up from him that Sunday night, he was covered in blisters from head to toe, which was hands, foot, and mouth virus. He had it so bad, he had blisters in his mouth, down his throat, on his back, his fingers, his toes. It hurt him so bad. So with the police saying that there was nothing wrong with him when they checked them, they're lying.
What about DCF the next day?
And you let DCF argue with their own forensic doctor, okay?
You're so far-fetched with this, man.
That's your opinion.
You're not going to stop at anything. You know,
I have to do what makes our son safe, and you are very dangerous with him.
How do you keep track
now
of all this?
you said that your son that you had a video of your son demonstrating to you how he was being touched.
Yes, I did.
Right? Where is the video?
The police department have it, and it's got an FBI label on it.
Well, where's your copy of it?
It's child pornography. I can't have it, weirdo.
Well, we've asked you about it, and you said 3 different things. One, at one point you said the police erased it from your phone.
Yeah, they had to wipe it off my phone.
And then at one point you said they had it with an FBI sticker on it.
Yes, it's got an FBI label on it.
And then you said you erased it.
Well, they had to erase it. I wasn't able to erase it. I've been so stressed out, but they have it at the police department. The state attorney's office knows they have it.
But you said the police erased it from your phone.
Yeah, they had to make a copy on their computer, and then they had to wipe it from my phone completely because it's child pornography.
But it doesn't exist.
It does exist.
But you don't have it, and the police can't find it.
They do have it.
Coincidental.
My attorney knows they have it, and so does the state attorney's office. My little boy was taking a nap, and I went to check on him from his nap, and he was awake from his nap, and he had his diaper off, and he was touching himself back and forth.
You tell him no. He's a baby. Really?
And why is he saying
you tell
it's
him
you?
No. Really? Oh, my God. This is so bad.
Is what I did, because nobody's believing me, Dr. Phil, and he's making everybody think I'm going nuts. It's my little boy doing this to himself. So when his legs are in the air and he's touching himself, I grab my phone. I always have it on me, and I videotaped it. And I called my attorney immediately, and I told him, and he instructed me to turn my phone off, hush. He told me to put it in a manila envelope and write on it, attorney-client confidentiality. I did that. I went straight to the police department. I let them know what happened. I made a report there. They didn't want to look at the video. They directed me to go to Daytona Beach Police Department to have them take it off my phone. And he took the video off my phone. He watched it with me. And I said, can you tell me one thing? And he says, what's that? I said, my son's father has everybody convinced that this is normal behavior and that I'm crazy. I said, can you please tell me that what's in this video is not normal? And he said, I assure you what's in this video is not normal. He says, how long has this been going on? And I said, my son's been doing this off and on for a little while now, and I just, at first thought maybe his butt was itching, okay?
Or the diaper rash
you
that he
didn't
has
tell us you had an attorney.
on a regular basis.
We would have loved to have talked to your attorney.
She doesn't have an attorney. I checked.
I do.
All right, we need to take a break. Getty brought us a briefcase that he claims will clear his name. We'll find out what's in it, and if it does, when we come back. Closed captioning provided by...
The secret then? Baking soda. Now, the 2-in-1 cleaning power of Arm & Hammer plus OxiClean Power Packs. A powerful combination of baking soda plus OxiClean stain-fighting crystals for a whiter, brighter clean. And save up to 50%. Arm & Hammer Power Packs. Big clean, small price.
What's better than $5,000 a week for life? Wow. The Publishers Clearinghouse $5,000 a week forever prize. Win $5,000 a week for your life. Then after that, someone you choose gets $5,000 a week for their life. Enter at PCH.com on February 26th to win forever.
I keep a briefcase of detailed evidence and records just to prove my innocence. This is a police report of the event. She suspects that Getty is sexually abusing, but did not provide any further details as to why she suspects this. Basically, she just said it just to say it with zero evidence to back her story. I have no choice but to have proof and documentation of everything that I do.
Well, Getty is so determined to clear his name that he slapped a label on the briefcase and just shipped it straight here. Well, that's efficient.
It's just a briefcase.
Yeah, that's efficient. Well, it got here.
Oh, yeah, it did.
We went through it. It has things like Angela's arrest records, her son's paternity test, DCF reports, court documents, Facebook posts, and police call logs indicating hundreds of calls to Angela's home.
I didn't live there for 10 years prior.
So you're in that environment now.
Right.
And there's between 2003 and 2011, there were 214 police calls to this house?
Not to my knowledge, because I didn't live there.
Well, yeah, there were. And between 2013 and 2015, there have been 39 more calls to this house. What do the police keep coming out there for?
The 39 calls, my brother had, he has severe autism. And he didn't want to take his medication. He was off his medication. So we had an altercation, and he was removed from the home. And he hasn't been back since. Now, the other calls out of the 39 are from when we were fighting over the custody.
We weren't fighting over custody. You were keeping him from me.
Because you're
contempt.
You're sexually abusing him, and that is why. But my question is, last year, you wrote the court 10 contempt of courts on me.
You owe me 2 days.
Can you just shut your mouth? Now, you told the courts I kept him from you last year. You wrote in 10 times. Now, see, I'm smart. I'm not dumb. I would ask you in the morning, can you please send me a picture of our son? And you did. With the time...
Which I'm not required to do, and I still did.
Just let me finish. With time and dates, I had the pictures. I brought them to the courts. They were all unfounded because you lied. Now, listen. This year, when I'm accusing you of sexually abusing...
2 days.
It took you 2.5 months to finally file a contempt of court on me. What did you have to hide?
for a lawyer.
You did not. Contempt of court is free.
Yeah, because you had a lawyer.
It's free.
Your family's
You're
got
not
money.
him.
You
did this, okay? Why didn't you, the first week I kept him from you, why didn't you go and write a contempt of court on me then?
I did.
Not the first week. You took 2.5 months to wait.
Yeah, I can't get
What did you have to hide?
$1,500 that easily. You're about to pay my court costs. You're about to pay my court costs.
We'll see, won't we?
They're going to issue that. That's in our stipulation.
Wait till they see my records, honey.
Let's see it.
Wait till they bring them out. I gave them the whole garbage bag full of everything. You don't think I
should keep it organized and neat like I do.
Because that's what you are, garbage.
You sure y'all aren't married?
Hell no.
What happened to your last marriage? What happened there?
I wanted to have an abortion.
I know
knew
you
who
did.
you were.
Our son showed signs of chemical dependency. DCF came to the recovery room and tested you. Did they not? He showed signs of chemical dependency.
Nothing was in our blood.
Do you or do you not get prescribed narcotics?
I do not.
Lie after lie. Angela, you have zero credibility in any of this.
We did do some investigation, and the hospital report says the mother took Loratab and smoked a lot of marijuana, about 2 joints per day during her pregnancy. The mother's OB was not aware of the mother's substance use. The baby was born on 5/1/2013, but was not tested for substance until 5/3/2013, after he started displaying severe withdrawal symptoms. Excessive sucking, high-pitched crying, sneezing, and fever of less than 100. CPI spoke with the father. Father stated he has no concerns and the child is well taken care of.
I went to the baby doctor the whole entire time. If I did drugs, the baby doctor would have reported it to DCF right away. Right away. They would have seen all of that.
Did you say that you wish you had aborted this baby?
I did.
Just a few days ago?
Yes. I love him to death, but if I knew that this was going to happen to him and he was going to be abused, yeah, I would take it back in a heartbeat, because no baby or no child or no mother should have to go through that ever.
That's our son you're talking about, Angela.
And that's the one that you sexually abuse and physically abuse.
You would take away our child? Do you hear how that sounds?
If I knew I was having a baby with a monster like you, you're damn right I'd take it back over and over again.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know that I've ever talked to a mother with a child that says,
the things that he does, I would take it back. I would take back that pregnancy, because it's so hard to watch him do the behavior that he does. And when he says it's his daddy that touches him, it's the most horrible thing in the world. And then I have to watch him go with him, and he's terrified to go with him. And then when he comes home, he touches himself. How am I supposed to feel?
I hear you crying, but I don't see any tears.
At all.
I'm
not
numb.
at all. It's an act. It's a total act, and you're not even that good.
Well, I'm ready for
Let's see some tears
to come out. I've been playing for 3 years.
Okay, why Getty says Angela is so obsessed with him that she stalks and constantly harasses him. We're going to find out why he's afraid of what she might do next. We're going to talk about that when we come back. And you know what? We did give him a polygraph test. We're going to look at it together. We'll do that.
on an all-new Dr. Phil.
I have somewhere near 20 different personalities.
There's Jeffrey, Alice.
He turns into Felix the cat.
It's not normal. He's sick.
That's tomorrow.
Angela is totally obsessed with me. I have proof that Angela is stalking me. She's told me what vehicles are in my driveway at 4 a.m. She has other people stalking my Facebook profile on a regular basis, my house. One time in particular, she sent me a picture of myself walking across the street. She was like, "Where are you going with that blonde bimbo and the Jeep?" It's just her way to try to make me think that she's always there.
Well, Getty says Angela is totally obsessed with him, and that's the only way to explain her erratic behavior. Angela says Getty is a monster who is molesting their 2-year-old son. Why does your child not want to go with you?
She coaches him. Like, I think that they're down-talking me on a regular basis. It's only when she's in the same room. As soon as I pick him up and walk away, he stops crying.
Angela gave us what she calls video evidence that her ex is abusing her son.
Where did Daddy give you a boo-boo?
Right there.
Where?
Right there.
On your back?
Yes.
Baby, where did Daddy give you a boo-boo? Okay, now, I've got an issue with this a little bit, so let's just take a listen here. All right, let's listen to your question here.
Where did Daddy give you a boo-boo?
Okay, so you brought this up, right?
Correct.
Okay, so, I mean, to me, and this isn't a courtroom, but to me, that's leading. I mean, where did Daddy give you a boo-boo? He says right there. Okay, when he says right there, he just says right there. He doesn't point to anything. He just says right there.
He's trying to point over his shoulder.
Well.
On your back?
Okay, no, you're the one that says on your back. And then he goes back to coloring or whatever he's doing, and then you ask him again.
Baby, where did Daddy give you a boo-boo?
Right there.
Okay.
Did you do it?
Where was he pointing then?
Pointing over.
Really?
No, he's trying to point over his shoulder to his back.
So that's your video?
That's from the...
There was more audio to that.
Yeah, that's your video evidence.
When you have a child and they're being abused, or when you give birth to a child, does the hospital give you a handbook how to ask your questions to your son when he's being abused? He says, Daddy gave me a boo-boo on my back. It hurts, Mommy. I looked at his back. I dropped to my knees when I seen everything. I took as many pictures as I could. I tried to videotape him. He was upset. He did not want to talk about it. That's as much as I could get out of him on videotape. I contacted Getty and I asked him, where did the bruises come from? Hung up on me. That following morning, I took him straight to the Daytona Beach Police Department.
They didn't give you a manual, but they gave me one. Because, you know, I don't just play a doctor on TV.
You're a real doctor. That's why I came here.
You know, I've got a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, and a PhD with emphasis in clinical psychology and behavioral medicine. And then I went back and did a postdoctoral fellowship in forensic psychology. That's psychology in the law.
Right.
And one of the things that I'm trained to do is evaluate parents.
Okay.
When you start having them point fingers and make allegations at one another, then you have to really start seeing, is this going to be at the expense of the child, or is there something to it? Is there meat on the bone? And when I see pictures, you know, I saw the pictures of these bruises on the child. I have to tell you, he looked in pretty good repair for a 2-year-old boy. But let me tell you, I believe it's a false positive system. Anytime there's an allegation of abuse or molestation, I believe it's true until I find out otherwise. But you know, you tell me he's taking him to a, you know, child pornography hotel, and I find out it's closed 2 years before your child was even born. You know, that causes me concern, things of that nature. You tell me that you've got a video of your son demonstrating what's happening to him, and then you say, I say, well, where is it? And I get 3 different answers at 3 different times. I'm concerned about that.
The police department do have that video.
Yeah, well,
no,
they can't find it. No, doesn't mean they don't have it. Doesn't mean they don't have it. I mentioned earlier that Getty took a polygraph exam about the alleged abuse. Those results are coming up. This show without you, our studio audience.
If you are going to be in the Los Angeles area and you would like free tickets, go to drphil.com and click on Be in the Audience.
Or you can call 323-461-PHIL. That's 323-461-7445. I brought in Jack Tremarco to be here and conduct the polygraph test. He's a former FBI special agent and polygraph examiner. If you watch the Dr. Phil show, you know Jack Tremarco. He's conducted over 3,500 tests in his career. In my opinion, he's the best in the business. And I want to ask you, before I even pick up this envelope, do you feel like you were treated fairly by Mr. Tremarco?
Definitely.
So you believe it was a fair test?
I believe so.
Okay. Jack, is there any reason that you would think that this was other than a fair and pure protocol?
No, it was a non-eventful polygraph test. There were no complications. Chart purity was what I expected, and it was a good test.
You've watched this show. You've seen Jack Tremarco on the show before.
Yeah.
So
that's why I wanted to come here.
Right, and you have confidence that whatever's going to be here.
110%.
There were 2 questions about the same thing. Question 1, did you ever touch your son? And we have the name, but we're not saying here. Did you ever touch your son for a sexual reason? And your response was?
No.
Question 2, since he was born, did you ever touch your son for a sexual reason? And your answer was?
No.
And the results to both questions were non-deceptive, meaning that you were telling the truth when you answered those questions.
Apologize. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Jack, was this a close call?
No, it was a good test, Dr. Phil. He was a +7. It would have needed a +2 or above in order to pass, so it wasn't close.
It wasn't even a close call.
Not even close, Angela.
No. So what do you have to say about this?
I'm sorry, but I still don't know why he's saying his dad's touching him.
As recently as 2 or 3 minutes ago, you were screaming at the top of the lungs. It was before you were sexually molesting him, because you sexually molested him. Right. You've taken him to a porn center. You've molested our son. You've dragged him on national television. You've called him a pedophile, a sexual molester.
Those are the only 2 questions that he was asked.
It's the only ones they need to ask. That's what we're here for.
Yes. We tested one pivotal concept, asked 2 different ways, because that's to do a proper polygraph test. That's what you have to do if you truly want a pure protocol.
Then I would like you to help us figure out with our son.
Angela, I don't want nothing. I want a restraining order on you.
You figure that out. He's under control when he's with me. He has no issues when he's with me and his sister. There's no problem ever. He does not touch himself inappropriately. He is perfectly
So he does this behavior just in front of me.
Well, are Angela and Getty ready to resolve their issues and focus on what's best for their son? Doesn't exactly seem like they're spring-loaded for that, but I'll tell them what I think needs to happen when we come back. Ready to get real? Go to drphil.com for advice on relationships, parenting, finances, and more. Plus, weigh in on your favorite episodes, share your stories, and find support in the Dr. Phil community. When you sign up for the community, you will automatically be subscribed to the Dr. Phil Show newsletter. Log on to drphil.com today. I'm here with Angela and Getty. There were serious allegations about sexual molestation. I have to tell you, I don't believe that that is being done by Getty. I think that there's a lot of unfinished emotional business between the two of you. The child clearly is paying for this angst between the two of you. It's living in a very toxic and emotionally charged environment. You need to come up with a co-parenting plan and a commitment to coexist. And if you are still venting frustration and upset towards one another, then you need to find some way to resolve that. Now, I'm happy to provide you with a co-parenting counselor that will help to work out a plan here if that's the route you want to go, or you can work through an intermediary. But you're over here raising your hand like, I want to do that, and I did this, and I do that.
I just wanted to say something.
But, you know, don't be a right fighter here. What you want to do is what's in the best interest of your child.
I paid thousands of dollars to have a parenting plan. I paid thousands of dollars to have a parenting plan set in place for this to happen, for us to have our own time to co-parent properly. This is what I want. I want to get along with this person, but accusation after accusation after accusation. This is, accusing somebody of molestation is the worst possible thing you could do to somebody, period. I came across the country to defend myself.
Okay, well, you've done that, and I'm glad you did, and I suspect you're glad you did. What can you do to be a hero for this child? And if this continues, I'm telling you, the system can get involved here and decide that neither of you is worthy to parent this child. You don't want that to happen. And you need to calm down and grow up. That's all I'm saying. I want to thank my guests today, and a very special thanks to you, Jack. I really appreciate you being here. We'll help you if you want it. Just let us know. We'll see you next time. Thank you so much. Glad this worked out. Thanks, Jack.